Hamas invaded into southern Israel, that Israeli security forces, terrorists in any of the communities, we have mobilized more than 300,000 reserve troops. Hamas won't be able to strike Israeli civilians ever again. We have no business killing civilians in Gaza. We are 62 hours after the Hamas invasion of Israel, of southern Israel. The count of Israeli casualties is the staggering, unprecedented number of 2,300 wounded and more than 700 dead. The majority of those casualties are unfortunately civilian. Why are they civilians? Because the attack that Hamas did was focused on butchering and executing and massacring civilians in Israel. Probably the most challenging part is that we, as we speak, have dozens of Israelis that are held in captivity in Gaza under Hamas and the Islamic Jihad. Hamas and the Islamic Jihad are responsible for their well-being. We have civilians, women, children, elderly, infants, and even disabled people that have been taken by these beasts from Gaza that have come across our borders and executed civilians. Then they took civilians back into Gaza and paraded them on the streets to be harassed, attacked, and assaulted, with crowds cheering on. And all of these videos have been proudly disseminated by Hamas members showing their so-called achievement. So if this is their achievement, it should tell you who it is that we are dealing with and what level of barbarity and inhumane treatment that we are facing. I can say finally today, now, many hours after Hamas invaded into southern Israel, that Israeli security forces, IDF, police, and the others have re-established control of southern Israel. There are still attempts by Hamas and other terrorists to get across the border and get into Israel and to attack in other locations. But the IDF has regained control over all of the Israeli communities. There are no more active terrorists in any of the communities, but there is fighting along the border, but we are now back in control of the situation. We have mobilized more than 300,000 reserve troops, which, to put into context, is more than we have ever done before in such a short period of time. The IDF has been given rather clear guidance from the Israeli government what it is to achieve, and we will focus on degrading until 100% completion of all of Hamas's military capabilities. What that means in plain terms, in plain language, that Hamas won't be able to strike Israeli civilians ever again. That's what it means. We are striking military targets belonging to Hamas. We're focusing on fighters. We're focusing on those who are fighting against us. We have no business killing civilians in Gaza. And we've said any civilian in the different environments in Gaza, specifically the Rimal neighborhood in Gaza City and a few other locations, we've said so in Arabic to them so that they can understand. Get out, because you're above and you're being used by Hamas as human shields, and you better not be where you are, because this is a very dangerous place. I am sure that you'll agree with me that you cannot expect us to be providing electricity, water, and energy to the very same enemy that has come across our border and is trying to kill our civilians. In the Eastern Mediterranean, there is a US battle group advancing towards the Eastern Mediterranean and towards proximity to our shores. What they're saying, and these are not my words, is to all of the other terrorist organizations in the region and their puppeteers in Tehran, their Iranian masters, if you think that this is a good time to join in the fight and attack Israel from other fronts, think again. That is the American message, and that is a message that we totally approve. We are strong, united, We are focused on our mission. We will come out of these first horrible, terrible, God-forsaken days of trauma, and we will strike back at our enemies like we haven't done before. Responsibility for everything happening now in Israel and in Gaza lays only on one organization directly, and that is Hamas. They are the ones who started this. They were the ones who launched an unprovoked and unprecedented attack against Israel, and they are the ones who literally opened the floodgates of hell on the Gaza Strip.